Welcome back, everyone, to NFT Nation, the most relatable and reliable NFT and crypto podcast in the nation. In today's episode, I will be covering all the news surrounding Coinbase and answering the question, is Coinbase really going bankrupt? So without further ado, let's just hop right into it. So to kind of start, to give some background to the whole situation, so pretty much what happened to Coinbase? Hidden away in Coinbase's global disappointing first quarter earnings report, in which the US's largest cryptocurrency exchange reported a quarterly loss of $430 million and a 19% drop in monthly users. This is an update on the risk of using Coinbase's services that may come as a surprise to its millions of users. Coinbase shares fell about 16% in after-hours trading after the exchange released its earnings, dragging the crypto exchange's stock price down to 80% below its NASDAQ debut in April of 2021. Besides reporting a declining user base and lower than expected revenue, trading volume on the Coinbase exchange declined from about 547 billion to 309 billion in the first quarter over the same period last year. Coinbase warned that trading volume was likely to decline further in their current quarter. Following the anti-market report, shares traded around $61, a far cry from the $381 range where the stock opened trading when it went public a little over a year ago. Coinbase, under co-founder and chief executive Brian Armstrong on Tuesday, posted a first quarter loss of $430 million, or about $2 a share, on a revenue of $1.2 billion. That compared with the earnings of $387 million, or $3 a share, on $1.8 billion in revenue a year earlier. So obviously they have lost more money and made or less money in revenue as in total compared to last year. Analysis has projected a loss of 1 cent a share on a revenue of 1.5 billion. So they were projecting them to lose a lot less money than they actually did. The majority of the exchange's revenue comes from transaction fees, which fell substantially in the first 3 months of the year. The number of monthly transaction users also declined, and Coinbase said in its shareholder letter that it expects both number of users and trading volumes to decline again in the second quarter. Trading volumes from retail or individual investors dropped by more than half from the prior quarter. So obviously, more regular people are beginning to use Coinbase less and less. And this makes sense because there's a lot of people leaving the entire space because they're seeing prices go down. So the next question we have to actually answer is, what happens if Coinbase goes bankrupt? So pretty much in the event that the crypto exchange goes bankrupt, Coinbase says that its users might lose all the cryptocurrency stored in their accounts. So that's obviously a very, very bad thing that can happen. Coinbase said in its earnings report Tuesday that it holds $256 billion in both fiat currencies and cryptocurrencies on behalf of its customers. Yet the exchange noted that in the event it ever declared bankruptcy, this is a direct quote from the company. It says, the crypto assets we hold in custody on behalf of our customers could be subject to bankrupt proceedings. Coinbase users would become general unsecured creditors, meaning they have no right to claim any specific property from the exchange in proceedings. Their funds would become inaccessible. So obviously, if there is more rumors and stuff about this Coinbase going bankrupt and everything, make sure to get your coins off the exchange. Personally, what I do is I buy everything on Coinbase and then immediately put it into my own crypto wallet, and I would kind of recommend you all do the same. Also, an individual's ownership of cryptocurrency is supported to be immutable and absolute. That's one of the key selling points touted by blockchain evangelists everywhere. But when a user creates a Coinbase account, they often end up storing their cryptocurrency in a wallet that is controlled by Coinbase, which means the individual is giving away at least part of the control over their own funds. So obviously you're giving Coinbase control over the cryptocurrency assets you own, and if they went bankrupt, technically they would own your funds and you would not be able to access them. Access to a crypto wallet is governed by a private key, which is a long string of characters that effectively acts as a password. Without the key, the cryptocurrency in the wallet can't be accessed. On Coinbase, the exchange holds the private key and lets users access the funds within the wallet using a more conventional password, kind of like a normal login account, like you're logging in anything else. The setup makes it easier for users to enter their accounts by remembering an easier password other than a very long digital password or a bunch of different numbers. Yet it means that when push comes to shove, Coinbase ultimately governs whether a user gets access to those assets. So this is why personally I move all my assets off of Coinbase once I purchase them, just because I do not want Coinbase to be a co-owner of my assets. I want to own my assets in full, so I have them in a secondary wallet. With all kind of this backlash and hot water, the CEO of Coinbase kind of had to come out and make a little speech and kind of respond to everything that's going on. And he said that in the company's first quarter report for 2022, Coinbase reported its first loss amounting to $430 million. Apart from this, the firm also reported the number of users transacting in the exchange had also dropped from 11.4 million to 9.2 million. So that is a massive loss of customers as well as money. Following the Coinbase report where the company declared its losses, a disclosure that suggests that users are not protected in the case of bankruptcy has also been gaining traction on many different social media platforms, especially Twitter. And the CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, explained on Twitter that the funds are completely safe and as they always have been. In comments shared on Twitter, just like I said, the Coinbase CEO said the exchange had no risk of bankruptcy and that the disclosure was made due to new rules set by the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission regarding public companies that hold crypto assets on the behalf of others. So pretty much no, they are not going bankrupt. It's just a new rule they have to follow, whether if they did go bankrupt, they would own the crypto that their customers own on their platform. So they would have to sell it to pay for pretty much their debt. This disclosure makes sense in that the legal protections have not been tested in court for crypto assets specifically, and it is possible, however, unlikely, that a court would decide to consider customer assets as a part of the company in bankruptcy proceedings, even if it harmed consumers. Armstrong tweeted, while reassuring users that your funds are safe at Coinbase. So pretty much since this has been kind of a PR nightmare for Coinbase and the entire kind of crypto industry as a whole, just to see these massive players kind of fail, the CEO of Coinbase knew he had to make some type of decision, and he made a big announcement on Twitter, just letting everyone know, hey, just so you know, like all your funds are safe. Don't worry about it. You own your assets. Armstrong also explained that their prime and custody customers have strong legal protections within the terms of service. Furthermore, these terms protect the assets even in the case of bankruptcy. So these terms protect the user's assets. He also noted that their team is working on updating their terms to also apply the same protections to retail users. So they want to be able to switch up their terms of service where if they do go bankrupt, or no longer are operating as a company, the customers will still be able to own the assets that they have purchased. So I have another question, and should we be scared about all this? And the easy answer really is no, because Coinbase does offer a self-custodial wallet titled the Coinbase Wallet, in which users know their private key, and a Coinbase wallet or any crypto wallet is not required to trade crypto on Coinbase. But by admitting that crypto assets aren't secure in the event of a bankruptcy, Coinbase is also highlighting a major difference between storing your funds with blockchain exchanges versus keeping cash with traditional banks. Bank accounts in the U.S. are protected by deposit insurance offered by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. In the event a bank fails, the FDIC steps in to protect deposits up to $250,000, preventing depositors from going broke along with the bank. Crypto exchanges don't offer that same protection, which is the primary reason why crypto enthusiasts advise investors to hold their cryptocurrency in a personal wallet rather than on an exchange, so they have complete control of their assets and don't have to worry about a middleman. Kind of like if you hold your assets on Coinbase, you are pretty much having to go through a middleman to look at your crypto. So, with all of this in mind, what does the future look like for Coinbase? And since the Nasdaq is down, Bitcoin is down, all that has led to less and less dollars being put into crypto, said Elisa Haas, who is Coinbase chief financial officer. Mrs. Haas said that even though trading volumes were lower than expected, she believes Coinbase is in a strong position going forward as it invests in its future, including diversifying into other products such as NFTs. Also, if you haven't kind of seen the crypto news in a while, Coinbase is offering their own NFT service, whether they are kind of doing their own thing similar to FTX, where they are creating their own NFT platform on their app to make even more revenue. Investors increasingly think financial markets are at a turning point, and pretty much meaning from there's going to be a lot of downturns in markets all over, just because people are starting to kind of turn into bears, especially with financial markets. As a result, they have retreated from some of the most speculative investments. So obviously during down times, people take all their money from risky investments, which crypto is considered a risky investment when compared to stuff like bonds or stocks. So that's why we will most likely continue to see a drop in crypto prices. The stock market fell from its record highs as the Federal Reserve started to roll back its easy money policies, raising interest rates and unwinding its asset portfolio. The central bank raised interest rates by half a percentage point last week, the largest hike in over 2 decades, causing a several-day rout. So obviously the government, especially the Federal Reserve, is trying to fix the insane inflation we are seeing, especially the 8 to 9% inflation we are seeing compared to last year. And obviously, we do not want to continue to see that, since hyperinflation can kill the economy. The Federal Reserve is like, okay, let's try to fix this. They're going to raise interest rates, maybe cut back on spending and cut back on free money, is what you could call it, quote unquote, free money. So obviously, by increasing interest rates, people are going to start taking money out of the stock market. As high-risk assets like cryptocurrencies have fallen dramatically, Bitcoin, which slid for the 6th straight day last Tuesday, is now down 54% from its November high. So far this year, it has lost 1/3 of its value, while Ethereum is down 37% in 2022. And obviously, NFT sales have flatlined. And if you want to learn more about why NFT sales have flatlined along with crypto, feel free to go check out our episode, which is Why Are NFTs Losing Interest? So, my personal thoughts on kind of this entire story is that yes, it's kind of bad to see Coinbase report that they're declining in user base as well as revenue, but you can kind of tell that last year was in kind of insane for the crypto market. A lot of people were new, especially myself. About 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, I would say I first dabbled into crypto. So obviously, there's a bunch of people that are just getting in and continuing to get in. But obviously, since we have seen kind of the bulls pull back from, especially like coins from their all-time highs, less and less people are going to get in because prices are falling and people don't want to invest when prices are falling. But honestly, in my personal opinion, I'm continuing to buy secure assets, like kind of the main coins like Bitcoin and Ethereum, just because I'm trying to lower my cost basis, so I'm buying small amounts at a time when I see big dips. But obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't want anyone to make a decision based off what I do. I cannot I cannot see the future, and I just do what I think is best. But this kind of news story doesn't make me all too happy, even though I mean, when you see, I personally have Coinbase stock, so you don't want to see that either, just because losing a massive amount of value. But I'm trying to pull something positive from this, and I really can't. I mean, the only thing positive I can find is that even though we're seeing prices fall dramatically, Bitcoin is still Bitcoin, Ethereum is still Ethereum, Coinbase stock is still Coinbase. I mean, so just I'm looking to maybe get a good get a good entry point, especially on price. I wouldn't expect prices to fall much dramatically unless we go into a recession. So that's kind of my personal thoughts. Obviously, I'm not I don't have a finance degree or anything. I'm not insane. But those are just my personal thoughts after doing the research. So I really want to thank you guys for listening here today. I really hope you learned something and tried to get this information as fast as possible. And if you did learn something, feel free to share it with your friends. Feel free to give us 5 stars on Spotify as well. That really tells Spotify that even though we are a small podcast, people love listening to us. And if you do love listening to us and want to continue following us on our journey and continuing to learn all about crypto, feel free to follow our social medias. It is at NFT_nation_podcast. We would love to hear from you all. Send me a message, like some of our stuff, maybe even repost a post or two and tag us. We would love to kind of get in contact with you that way. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Have a good one.